up.
And 3 down.
3 Up and 3 Down is brought to you by the print issue of Press Box, which is gone. And this one with Kevin Brown gone in the next day or two and will be replaced by a brand new print issue of Press Box with new Ravens head coach Jesse Minter on the cover.
Before
that will be available. That's a great point. Will it be the Press Box?
I guess he is 1-0. And
that's a great point. Don't forget that. Perfect record. You'll be able to get that at your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores for free, any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find Pressbox. Read it all for free at PressBoxOnline.com. Coming this week, a brand new print issue of Pressbox. Because the Orioles ultimately ended up going 4-2 for the week, we can begin with the down for this week. My number 3, there were a lot of options for number 3, a few reliever. The problem was, like, with the relievers that were options for number 3, they had like a really bad effort, and then they also had like a really good effort during the course of the week. So it was hard to say definitively that like Rico Garcia or even Grant Wolfram, who I really struggled to not put on this list. But it was really bad, but then also really good. So I ultimately went with Christian Franklin at number 3, went 1 for 10 for the week, and the way that I'm describing is right now he looks more like he's in theory and less in practicality. Like in theory, the fact that he does other things that your other outfielders do makes him make sense for a roster spot, but in practicality, he's just not actually doing those things. Now, for what it's worth, a couple weeks ago we were all down on Leody Taveras, and I'm glad the Orioles didn't DFA Leody Taveras at that point in favor of Eston Kjerstad. But it's kind of hard to justify Christian Franklin's roster spot. He's just not really doing anything. He's my number 3.
Yeah, I struggled with my number 3. I think for both on both sides of the list. So I had Dylan Beavers here.
Okay.
It was a really good week for the offense, and he only had 3 hits, and he struck out 9 times.
I thought about Kobe Mayo as well.
Yeah,
for this spot. Yeah, I thought.
But Beavers, he's getting these opportunities, and he's still. I guess he had a home run this week, and he had a big hit over. Was that Saturday or Friday? I think it was Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, that he had a 2-run single. I think.
Yep.
But that was he's striking out a lot, and it's every time almost like it's so. Dylan Beavers my number 3.
Shane Baz, number 2 for the week. It's a bummer because Shane Baz has been so good, and then they went and got him runs for the first time, and then he kind of threw up all over himself. But it happened, and if Shane Baz had just been anything similar to what he had been, the Orioles would have had a 5-1 week. Shane Baz, number 2.
He was my number 1. Shane Baz was my number 1. Carlos Narvaez was my number 2.
He's my number 1.
I'm hoping
I know. You're in that moment where you're like, how do you possibly look at Joel Pozo right now and all of that and say you're going to get rid of that when Samuel Basayo returns?
I feel like he knows his role better, too. Like, he's the fun backup catcher.
It's very difficult, right? It's very difficult because I know exactly what you're saying, but we also know that Joel Pozo isn't really a baseball player.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I hear you.
It might be. Might be one of the best ever.
It's very difficult. But yeah, Carlos Narvaez.
And his name's fun.
Who was 1 for 14 for the week. It was number 1.
Again, I think he go 1 for 14 last week, too. Like,
it's not. There's just not a whole lot there.
Pozo went 2 for 5.
I hear you.
He might be on the up list.
No, he was not.
He might be.
My number 3, again, the only thing that made it difficult was he had a bad outing this week. But what he did this weekend, as you see him up on the board in the middle, what he did this weekend was ridiculous. Cam Sanders is number 3 on this list, and I could not believe that's where they were going on Friday night. I'm like, you're doing what now? You're doing what? And you can say, hey, he didn't really do anything. He made 1 pitch, and it just happened to be a fly ball to center field. But I don't know, just not vomiting all over yourself in that spot when everything was falling apart against the best team in baseball. You start with that. And then on Saturday, to inherit a runner at second base and somehow get out of it without allowing that run to score with a couple of big strikeouts, Cam Sanders was bonkers this weekend. And so, yes, he had a bad outing last week, but that it is easy to ignore that when you did what you did in those 2 spots. Cam Sanders, who's on the board with Well, two other guys. Jackson Holliday's not going to be on the list, so Jackson Holliday's on the board from yesterday.
Yeah, he didn't make my list. Cam Sanders didn't make my list. I mean, I think
insane.
He still was not good in Minnesota.
It's fine. Yeah, some things outweigh others.
Kyle Bradish and Brandon Young I guess they both technically had quality starts, but they were very laborious.
Yes, they were.
Christian Encarnacion Strand is my number 3.
Yeah.
He drove in a lot of runs. That ball that he hit in Minnesota still hasn't landed yet. So
that's true.
Big hit yesterday. True. Christian CES is my number 3.
Doesn't have the balls of Cam Sanders. Number 2
I don't know, he might.
Gunnar Henderson, who obviously has been much maligned this season. He went on the board for Friday night when they dropped him to 5th in the order, and he responded by going 4 for 4. Now, it looks like that's sort of going to be their lineup against lefties. And again, who actually leads off, I'm not sure. We joked about Kobe Mayo last week. We saw both Alonso and Tyler O'Neill lead off. That's wild. But it looks like they're going to drop him a little bit against lefties. And even when he wasn't producing this week, like yesterday, you could tell he was hitting the ball really well, just with a lot of bad luck. And earlier in the year, you sense that would be overwhelming for him, but it was nice to see him keep a smile on his face. And yes, you don't worry about it quite as much on a day where the team scores 10 runs. Huge week for Gunnar. We'll see. Again, you pray that this is the moment for him, that he becomes Gunnar Henderson again. He's got to actually definitively prove that the rest of the season, but if he does, it is a game changer for this team and what they might be capable of doing.
Well, he struck out twice all week, too. So Gunnar's my number 2 as well. I mean, yeah, he had a really good week, but that other guy had a really good
Pete Alonso. I'm starting to think the Rays are going to regret not giving him $1 billion. Like, I know they don't ever pay baseball. Well, that's not true. They paid Wander Franco, and look at how that worked out for him.
And he plays while hurt. I mean, come on.
Yeah, right.
That's something that apparently never happens anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's who he is. That's why what Buck always used the word he posts. Pete Alonso was just an absolute dog. Just an absolute dog all week. Just awesome. I don't know what else there is to say. Awesome. Glad he's on our team. Pete Alonso, an easy choice for number 1. So what does it all mean? We'll get that up at glennclarkradio.com. What does it all mean? No idea.